Welcome back, dear students. Now, here in this lecture, we are continue for chapter 2, plant tissue culture. The next point is the basic techniques of plant tissue culture. Here in this lecture, we are going to study the basic technique of plant tissue culture. So, what is plant tissue culture? Plant tissue culture is in vitro cultivation or a culture of plant cell or tissues in liquid or on semi-solid well-defined nutrient medium to regenerate plant or for the production of primary or secondary metabolites. So in plant tissue culture, here we are going to cultivate or culture plant cell or tissue in liquid or semi-solid nutrient medium. The aim behind is to regenerate the whole plant or for the production of primary or secondary metabolites. So this can be done with the help of certain basic techniques, some techniques that has been used in the plant tissue culture. So tissue culture involves both plant and animal cells. So before going for some basic techniques of plant tissue culture, we first know about the types of cultures. So there are mainly two major techniques in plant tissue culture. One is the static culture and another one is the suspension culture. So static culture and the suspension culture are the two important techniques in plant tissue culture that are used for the cultivation of the plant cell or tissue to regenerate the plant or for the production of primary or secondary metabolites. So first one is the static culture. This static culture is also known as callus culture or solid culture. Here the well-defined nutrient medium used is the semi-solid medium. Semi-solid nutrient medium has been used, so it is also called as a solid culture. In this technique, isolated piece of plant tissue that we call it as a explant is cultured on a solid nutrient medium. Plant growth regulators such as auxins, cytokinins and gibberellins are supplemented into the medium to initiate callus formation. So here the explant has been induced for the formation of the callus. For this, plant growth regulators like auxins, cytokinins and gibberellins are added into the nutrient medium. So as a result of this, finally an unorganized mass of the cells appear, which is called as the callus. This callus is transferred onto different media to regenerate the plant. Here callus is an unorganized mass of cell, undifferentiated mass of cell. So that callus is induced to regenerate the other parts of the plant. So parts of the plant, that is the shoot and root. So whole plant regeneration consists of the development of aerial shoot and primary roots to the callus. So for this, the callus is transferred onto different culture medium to regenerate the plants. And this callus culture techniques is easier and convenient for initial maintenance of cell lines and also for carrying out the investigation studies related to the organogenesis. Organogenesis, the meaning of the organogenesis is the development of the organs or the formation of the organ. Genesis, that is the development. Development of the organ like a shoot and root from the callus has been achieved by transferring callus on the different media that support the formation of shoot and root. If in the culture medium we use the higher concentration of the cytokinins than the auxins, it can induce the formation of the shoot. When the culture medium consists of high concentration of auxins than the cytokinins, then it induces root formation. So the shoot and root formation to the callus for the regeneration of the plant has been carried out by transferring callus on the shoot initiation and root initiation nutrient medium. So this is about the static culture, where the explant is cultured on a solid nutrient medium for the formation of the unorganized mass of cell called as the callus. And from the callus, the whole plant regeneration has been carried out by balanced combination of auxins and cytokinins. Next, so this is the suspension culture. So suspension culture is also known as liquid culture. Here the explant has been suspended in the liquid medium, so it is called as suspension culture. It is the culture of isolated cells or very small cell aggregates dispersed put in liquid medium. So here the isolated cells or small cell aggregates, that we also called as the explant. So here the isolated cells or small cell aggregates are dispersed in the liquid medium. They has been put on the liquid medium. The cell suspension is obtained by agitating pieces of callus in liquid medium on gyrating shaker and growing cells in a liquid medium under controlled conditions. So such isolated cell or small clumps of the cell has been suspended in the liquid medium, and that has been agitated continuously on gyrating shaker. So shaker is an instrument used for shaking the liquid medium. So the cell suspension is obtained by agitating or mixing pieces of callus in a liquid medium on gyrating shaker and growing cells in a liquid medium under controlled conditions. Transfer of an established callus culture into the liquid medium in Erlenmeyer flask, medium with high oxygen content, appropriate concentration of oxygen and yeast or oxygen versus kinetin helps to maintain suspension incubated at 25 degrees Celsius in darkness or with less light intensity. So the medium with high oxygen content or appropriate concentration of oxygen or oxygen versus kinetin, so this helps to maintain suspension when it is incubated at 25 degrees Celsius in darkness or with very less light intensity. So we can get the large number of cells if it has been suspended into the liquid medium and agitated on a gyrating shaker. So these cells are grown in a liquid medium under controlled condition. Here also we can use the high oxygen content or moderate oxygen content, or we can also add kinetin, that is the cytokinin, to maintain the suspension. So such suspension culture is incubated at 25 degrees Celsius in darkness or with less light intensity. It contains a uniform suspension of separate cells in a liquid medium. Callus liquid medium agitated continuously and finally cells separated subculture is obtained. So that callus cells, that is the unorganized mass of cell, has been agitated continuously on gyrating shaker and finally we get the cells that has been separated by subculturing it. This can also be achieved by rotator shaker attached within the incubator at a rate of 50 to 150 rpm. So instead of gyrating shaker we can also use the rotator shaker which is attached with the incubator. So at the same time shaking and incubation at 25 degrees Celsius has been carried out. So shaking or agitation or mixing has been carried out at a rate of 50 to 150 rpm. Now the types of suspension culture. So this suspension culture where the isolated cells or small cell aggregates are dispersed in liquid medium. There are three types of suspension culture. First is the batch suspension culture. Second, continuous suspension culture. It is of two types, closed type and open type, and third one is the semi-continuous culture. These are the types of suspension culture. Which are these? Batch culture, continuous culture and semi-continuous culture. This continuous suspension culture is further divided into two subtypes, closed type and open type. Now one by one we are going to study this. First one is the batch culture. These cultures are maintained continuously by propagating a small aliquot of inoculums in the moving liquid and transfer to fresh medium at regular interval. So these cultures, in the batch cultures, the growing cells are transferred to a fresh medium at regular intervals. As the cells are grown on liquid medium, they exhausted the nutrients present in the liquid medium for their growth. Okay, so for continuous growth, for continuous maintenance and the growth of these cells, such cells are transferred to fresh medium at regular intervals. Generally, cell suspensions are grown in flask containing 25 to 727 ml of the culture medium. When the cell number in suspension culture is plotted against the time of incubation, a growth curve is obtained. As the growth of the cells occur when there is an addition of cell number in the suspension culture when it is transferred to the fresh medium at regular intervals batch wise, so it is called as the batch culture. To the contrary, second one type is the continuous culture. In this system, the liquid medium continuously added to the culture to stabilize the physiological stage of growing cells. So continuous culture, here the nutrient medium has been continuously added in the culture. In this system, the liquid medium continuously replaced by the fresh liquid medium to stabilize the physiological stage of growing cells. Cell proliferation takes place under constant conditions. As a result of this, the active growth phase of the cell declines the depletion of the nutrients. So as the active growth has been occur in the cell, it declines the nutrient level. So the culture has been continuously replaced with a fresh liquid medium. The cells passing throughout flowing medium are separated mechanically, and the cells are always kept in exponential growth phase. So to keep the cells in an active state, to keep the cell in exponential growth phase, the fresh liquid medium has been added continuously to the culture. So this is the continuous culture. Now furthermore, there are some more types of the culture. So generally, there are 8 main types of tissue culture. The first one is the seed culture, embryo culture, meristem culture, bud culture, callus culture, cell suspension culture, anther culture, protoplast culture. So here these different types of culture has been made on the basis of the explant use. Here in the seed culture, the explant use is the seed. Second, embryo culture, explant is embryo. Similarly, meristem, bud, callus, cell, anther, protoplast. So these are the explants used in the culture. So the names given or different types of the culture has been made on the basis of the explant use. Here is the seed culture, embryo culture, meristem culture, bud culture, callus culture, cell suspension culture, anther culture, and protoplast culture. So one by one we are going to study these different types of culture. So the first one is the seed culture. So seed culture is generally carried out for the production of aseptically grown plants. So seed may be cultured in vitro to regenerate the seedlings or plants. Such seedlings are aseptically grown, which help in better maintenance of aseptic tissue. It is the best method for raising the sterile seedling. So seed culture is mainly aimed for raising the sterile seedlings. They are free from any contaminant. The seed culture is done usually to get the different types of explant from aseptically grown plants, which help in better maintenance of the aseptic tissue. So the seed culture is usually done for obtaining the sterile seedlings. Okay. Next is the embryo culture. So embryo culture, it is also used to get the whole plant. It is the sterile isolation and the growth of an immature or mature embryo in vitro with the goal of obtaining the viable plants. So embryo culture is mostly done to overcome the seed dormancy. So for that, the embryo has been excised, has been removed from the seed, and that isolated embryo has been grown on artificial nutrient media under in vitro condition with the goal of obtaining a viable or a whole plant. In some plants, the seed dormancy may be there due to the presence of some chemical inhibitors or mechanical resistance or some structures covering the embryo. So these are the reasons because of which seed is not able to germinate in some plant. So this is referred as the seed dormancy. So the seed dormancy, it may be due to presence of some chemical inhibitors. There are some mechanical resistance or some structures that covers the embryo. So because of this, the seed is not able to germinate under favorable conditions of the germination. So for this, excision of the embryos and culturing them in a sterile nutrient medium help in developing viable seeds, viable seedlings. So viable seedlings means those seedlings which can able to produce the shoot and root. So such viable seedlings are produced by the excision of the embryo and culturing them in a sterile nutrient medium. Embryo developed from wide hybridization between two different species may not mature fully due to embryo endosperm incompatibility. So here one can make a hybridization experiment between two different species. The embryo is not able to fully grow, fully develop because of the embryo endosperm incompatibility. So in such situation, the isolation and the culture of this hybrid embryo prior to abortion help in overcoming the post-zygotic barriers. So such embryo is not able to develop into the seedling because there is embryo endosperm incompatibility. Here the embryo endosperm is incompatible, it is not compatible to each other. So for that, such embryo is not emerge, it is not germinated into the plumule and radicle. So to get the whole plant in such condition, the isolation and the culture of this hybrid embryo is useful by using the embryo culture. So embryo culture has been done with the goal of obtaining viable plant. So embryo culture is done in case of seed dormancy or in case of interspecific hybridization where the mature embryo is not able to germinate due to embryo endosperm incompatibility. So this is the embryo culture. Next one is the meristem culture. So as you know that the meristem is a group of meristematic tissue. Here the apical meristem of angiosperm and gymnosperm can be cultured to get disease-free plants. The meristem tip of a size between 0.2 to 0.5 mm most frequently produce virus-free plants. Hence this method is known as meristem culture. Here the explant use is the meristem. The goal behind or the aim behind the meristem culture is to get disease-free plant. For that, the meristem tips of a size between 0.2 to 0.5 mm, it can frequently produce the virus-free plant. So this method is known as meristem culture. This method is highly successful in herbaceous plants than woody plants. In meristem culture, first the shoot proliferation takes place because we take the piece of the apical meristem, here the tip piece of the apical meristem. So from that first shoot has been obtained, then the rooting has been done by transferring it or by subculturing it on a rooted medium. So finally the rooted plantlet is obtained. So this is about the meristem culture. So meristem culture has been done to get the disease-free plant. So first the shoot proliferation, shoot development takes place in the meristem culture. Then roots has been developed by subculturing on rooting medium. So here this is the diagram where a meristem has been obtained from the apical tip, from the apex of the plant. So this is the magnified view of the shoot tip, and that piece of the meristem between the size 0.2 to 0.5 mm has been inoculated on the medium. So this meristem gives rise to the shoots only. They are subculture on a rooting medium for the development of the root. As the whole plant regeneration means the plant having shoot and root has been occurred, then it is transferred on the in the soil for hardening purpose, for making sturdy enough the plant, for acclimatization of the plant to the outer environmental condition, or in the field the hardening has been done. So meristem culture, where the meristem has been used and it is inoculated on the medium. So from this meristem first the shoots has been obtained, and these shoots are transferred or subcultured on the another medium that possess, that supports the rooting. So once the rootings has been occurred, these plants, the whole plant having a shoot and root has been removed from the culture medium and transferred on the soil for acclimatization for hardening. So this is about the meristem culture. Next to this is the bud culture. So here bud has been used as an explant. So buds contain active meristem in the leaf axil. So buds that has been present on the nodes that can give rise the lateral branches are used for the culture. So it is a bud culture. So buds contain active meristem. It possesses active meristematic tissue which is present in the leaf axil, at the axil of the leaf, and such buds are capable of growing into a shoot. Single node culture, where each node of the stem is cut and allowed to grow on nutrition medium or culture medium to develop the shoot tip from the axil, and which ultimately develops into a new plantlet by the formation of the roots. Similarly, the axillary buds we can also use, where the axillary buds are isolated from the leaf axils and develop into the shoot tip under little high cytokinin concentration. So here bud culture, we taken the bud from two positions, one from a node and other from the leaf axil. So when the bud we excise, we remove or we cut from the stem at the nodal portion, it allows to grow on a nutrient medium to develop the shoot tip from the axil. Similarly, the axillary bud, the bud which is present from the leaf axil, that is also grown on the nutrient medium, but it possesses little high cytokinin concentration that can also give rise to the shoot. So this is about the bud culture. Now here in the bud culture we get only the shoots. The roots has been obtained by subculturing the proliferated shoots on the nutrient medium that contain the auxins. So auxins support the formation of the roots. So subculturing of the proliferated shoots has been done by transferring them on the auxin containing medium. So this is about the bud culture. Then the callus culture. So here we discussed previously the callus culture. Callus is a unorganized, undifferentiated mass of the cells arising from any kind of explant under in vitro cultural conditions. All the cells in a callus are parenchymatous in nature. So these cells are the primary cells, but may or may not be homogeneous mass of the cells. They may be again organized into shoot primordial or may develop into the somatic embryos. So the callus that has been obtained from any kind of explant under in vitro cultural condition has been induced to produce the shoot, or it may develop into the somatic embryos. The callus growth is dependent on factors such as the type of explant and the growth conditions. So here an undifferentiated mass of the cell has been obtained when using any kind of explant under in vitro cultural condition. Such unorganized mass we call it as the callus. From callus, the whole plant regeneration has been carried out by using two ways. The first way is the callus has been induced to develop the shoot initials or to develop the shoot, or it may induce to develop into the somatic embryos. They are called as the embryoids. They are like the embryos. So from both these structures, whether from shoot or from somatic embryos, the whole plant regeneration has been carried out, and it depends on the type of explant and the growth regulators or the growth conditions. After callus induction, it can be subcultured regularly with appropriate new medium for growth and maintenance. So this is about the callus culture. Next to this is the cell suspension culture. So here the cell has been suspended into the liquid medium. It is the suspension culture. The growing of individual cells that have been obtained from any kind of explants, tissues or callus referred to as cell suspension culture. Here the isolated cell has been grown on liquid medium. These are initiated by transferring piece of tissue, explants or callus into liquid medium without agar. So agar is a gelling agent which can make the medium semi-solid. So when we are not using agar, when we prepare a medium without agar, such medium is a liquid medium. So medium here, medium is a nutrient medium where the isolated cells or a tissue explant or the callus has been transferred into the liquid medium, then place them on a gyratory shaker to provide both aeration and dispersion of cells. Like callus culture, the cells are also subcultured into new medium. As you know that the growth of the cells occur as there is an increase in the number of cells, the medium has been depleted with the nutrients. The nutrition and nutrients has been lost from the medium that has been utilized for the growth of the cells. So for that, subculturing has been done. Subculturing means transferring the cells into the new medium so that the cells get the fresh nutrients for its growth. Cell suspension cultures can be done in batch culture or continuous culture system. Here the whole batch has been transferred onto the new medium in the batch culture, while in continuous culture the nutrient medium has been added continuously. In the continuous culture system, the culture is continuously supplied with the nutrients by the inflow of fresh medium with subsequent draining out of used medium, but the culture volume is kept constant. This method is used mainly for the synthesis of specific metabolite or for biomass production. So cell suspension culture has been aimed for biomass production or for the synthesis of specific primary or secondary metabolites. So in the continuous culture system, the culture is continuously supplied with the nutrients by the inflow of fresh medium. Fresh medium has been continuously added, and at the same time subsequently the used medium has been removed, but the culture volume should be kept constant. So this is the cell suspension culture, where the individual cells that has been obtained from any kind of explant, tissue or callus has been suspended in the cell suspension in the liquid medium that we called as a cell suspension culture. Next is the anther culture. Here anther is the explant. An important aspect of plant tissue culture is the production of anther culture or pollen culture, which was first established by Guha and Maheshwari in 1964-1966 in Datura. But now in many crops like rice, wheat, maize, mustard, pepper, etc., anther culture is established. So anther culture is mostly done for the production of haploid plants. So an important aspect of the plant tissue culture is the production of the plant by anther culture or pollen culture. The anther bearing uninucleate microspores are selected and allowed to grow in medium to produce callus from the pollen mass. Then the triggering of these androgenic calli, androgenic because it is the part of androgenic, here androecium. Pollen, it is a part of pollen has been obtained from the anther. If you see the androecium is consist of anther, filament and connective. Here we are dealing with the anther culture. So here we are culturing the anther on liquid medium or on solid medium. So here when the microspores are selected and allowed to grow in the medium to produce the callus from the pollen mass, then such callus is directed to produce the embryos. So this callus is called as androgenic callus, or androgenic calla is directed to produce the embryos, and haploid plants are developed from these androgenic embryos. So here the callus form from the pollen culture or the anther culture is induced to produce the embryos. So the whole plant regeneration has been obtained by using the embryo from these androgenic embryos. The anther culture can be done with isolated anthers on solid medium, where anther wall will break open and the androgenic calla will form from the pollen. So anther culture has been done by culturing the anther on solid medium, and the androgenic calla will be formed from the pollen. During pollen culture, microspores of uninucleate stage are collected in liquid medium and can be grown in suspension culture. Here we are discussing both anther culture and the pollen culture. Here if you are using the anther culture, the anther has been isolated and cultured on a solid medium from which androgenic calla has been formed, and such androgenic calla is induced to produce the embryos. Such embryos are called as androgenic embryos. So these embryos are haploid because anther is haploid, the pollens are haploid. So the haploid plants are developed from these androgenic embryos. Other way is the pollen culture. So in pollen culture, microspores of uninucleate, single nucleate stage are collected in the nucleate medium and can be grown in suspension culture. So in this suspension culture, the uninucleate pollens may give rise to calli mass or the globular mass from which the plant can be raised either through embryogenic or organogenic pathway. So the callus that has been formed from the pollen culture has been induced to develop the embryos, or it has been induced to develop the shoots. So the plant regeneration occur by using either embryo or from the shoot are of haploid plants. All are haploid plants because all this structure, the starting material used is the haploid. So the plants obtained are also haploid plants. So this is about the anther culture. Next to this is the protoplast culture. So what is a protoplast? So protoplast, it is the culture of cells devoid of or without of cell wall. So if you see the cell consists of cell wall, plasma membrane, and inside which there is a presence of cytoplasm and nucleus. So if we remove the cell wall from the cell, the material remain, it is called as the protoplast. So it is the culture of plant protoplast, that is the culture of cells without cell wall. So protoplast is the cell without cell wall. So for this protoplast, the plasma membrane is the limiting membrane. It is the outermost membrane because we remove the cell wall, or the cell is without cell wall. Isolated protoplasts are usually cultured in either liquid or semi-solid agar media plates. Protoplasts are isolated from soft parenchymatous tissue by enzymatic method, and the viable protoplasts are purified and cultured. So the protoplasts are cultured either in liquid medium or on semi-solid agar medium. The protoplasts are isolated from soft parenchymatous tissue by enzymatic method, and these viable protoplasts are purified and cultured. The protoplast culture is usually followed for the development of transgenic plants. So those plants which contain the gene from the other organism, such plants are called as the transgenic plant. For example, BT cotton. So this BT cotton plant possesses of a gene from Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria, and this gene has been transferred into the cotton genome. Such plant is called as the transgenic plant. So the protoplast culture is usually carried out for the development of the transgenic plant, because in such production of transgenic plant, the gene has been transferred into the cell, and that cell has been grown in the tissue culture for the regeneration of the transgenic plants. So for the regeneration of the transgenic plant, the protoplast culture has been used. Another aim of protoplast culture is the development of somatic hybridization of two plants through protoplast fusion. So like the hybridization, here the somatic cells from two parental plants are fused with each other to obtain the somatic hybrids. Okay, this is the another way for the protoplast culture. So protoplast culture is mainly used for the development of transgenic plant and also for somatic hybridization. So this is the diagram, this is the picture where we can see the protoplast culture. Here this is the parental plant from which we are going to initiate the protoplast culture. Here the leaf has been used, it is sterilized, the epidermis has been peeled off to obtain the leaf segment. Now from this leaf segment, the individual protoplast has been obtained by enzymatic method. Then it is put in a liquid medium. Such protoplast population has been grown on a agar medium, where these protoplasts are divided to forms the clump of cells, then the colony formation, then to the callus, that callus has been differentiated into the shoot. So whole plant regeneration has been obtained by transferring this proliferated shoot onto the rooting medium. So callus is induced to develop either the somatic embryoids or it has been induced to develop the shoot. Here we can see these are the embryos that has been occur on the callus. Generally embryo has been developed in the seed. That embryo we call it as a zygotic embryo. While the embryo that has been developed from the somatic cell, it is the somatic embryo. So this embryo, it is the well differentiated organ which possesses the shoot initials and the root initials. So from this embryo both root and shoot has been generated. Okay. When the callus has been induced for the development of the shoot, it can only produce the shoot, and from this shoot we can able to produce the roots. So whole plant regeneration occur by the two ways. So this is about the protoplast culture. Now the next point occurs is the media preparation. So this is all for today. The media preparation, the constituents of the media composition, aseptic preparation of the explant, that we will see in the next lecture. Thank you. Stay home.